Wakey, wakey!
Ugh, what the fudge?
Hello, subjects. Welcome to the movie experiment chamber. Here you will review movies created by our scientists, and you will have to come up with a remake versions of it.
What the hell? Why would we do that? Isn't Hollywood already full of good ideas?
Ah,
Any more stupid questions?
no, we're good.
Today's movie will be Frankenstein Island by Jerry Warren, made in 1981.
Ugh.
Well, that sure was something. Want to do the honors?
Sure, someone has to. After 2 minutes of stock footage of hot air balloons for our opening sequence, we meet our 4 heroes crashing down the island on a hot air balloon. These 4 heroes are named Doc, Curtis, Mark, and Dino, and they have their dog Melvin with them because they were trying to beat the long-distance record of hot air ballooning. We learned this information about 25 minutes into the movie, which is kind of strange because we started off with a hot balloon sequence and this information could have easily been put there. But I guess that wasn't important because these guys are on vacation. They don't care, they don't have any supplies, they have their jobs, families at home, that they are probably worried about them. No, these guys have an unexpected vacation on this weird island. Of course, not everyone's thinking about having a good time on the beach. Some of them actually think of escaping the island. And of course, by doing that, they have to abandon their flotation device to build a raft, which is totally logical. While taking a little stroll on this little unexpected vacation, they end up encountering their first useless plot point, which is when they talk about home, they get hurt physically. This plot point leads to absolutely nowhere and is totally useless to the story or anything.
After discovering a girl hammock, the gang meet a clan of scantily clad babes with, honestly, low standards in men.
You are pretty.
Oh.
The clan also seems to have hunted down the only family of leopards on the island and uses their furs for everything. They also like to decorate their places with human skulls, which no one seems to notice or care all that much. Also, skull bongs. It is later revealed that the human hammock from earlier is actually some kind of weird initiation that is never brought up again and serves no purpose.
Oh, punishment's over, huh?
Not punishment, initiation.
We then meet the Frankenstein clan, who are known for kidnapping women and giving them mirrors. Sounds like a fair trade to me. We're also introduced to the best character of the entire movie, the laughing one-eyed sailor named Jocko. Maybe. Honestly, we don't really know what his name is, and the only hint we have is in the credits. The Frankenstein clan weirdos bring them to their small village, where they meet a locked-up sea captain named Jason, who uses some kind of wooden calendar to keep up with how long he's been imprisoned.
17th year?
He also has this unexplained skeletal roommate who seems to have died from a dagger in the eye. Our heroes then decide they want to steal a gun in order to not go to jail.
So, do you know where I can find a gun or I can steal one?
Which is flawless reasoning as far as I'm concerned. Jason then gets a sedative in the head, and everyone acts like that's completely normal.
After that weird moment, they finally meet the head honcho.
I'm Sheila Frankenstein.
And 5 seconds after introducing herself as Frankenstein, she then says,
Actually, it's Von Helsing.
This brings us to our third useless plot point of the movie, of the famous Monster Hunter name drop. For no reason at all. She could have been called Shayla Bob and no one would have noticed. Then Shayla Bob explains a crazy story to them about the spirit of Frankenstein bringing them on the island with his crazy wind powers, and then casually proposing them to make babies with the savage women on the island. Which explains the weird faces that Dino and Curtis are making, since they are probably wondering themselves if they're now in the harem porn movie. Of course, after almost a full day being trapped on an island, they still don't ask about a phone or a radio. I guess they just don't want to be unpolite. We are then introduced to the perfectly programmed bodyguards with no flowing blood that have a bad habit of kidnapping girls, being unpredictable, and having a drug problem. This drug problem is so bad that it affects their eyes and they make them all go white and be super sensitive to light. That's why they have like these Gucci like sunglasses on the whole time. And this would have been an interesting weak point to use against these Frankenstein monsters, but they never use it or talk about it ever again. While showing off her super laboratory and about to show her really old husband, she decides to drop a huge bomb of information about how the girls are descendants of aliens, which seems to make total sense to the heroes of our story and just pretty much unfaze them like the rest of the stuff that's happening to them on this island.
Yeah, that explains it about the girls.
As promised, she shows off her crazy old husband, Mr. Van Helsing. That doesn't really do anything in this movie except being another useless plot point. Talk about useless plot points, let's talk about the sixth useless plot point. The fact that the spirit of Dr. Frankenstein appears on the island and just talks about nonsense about the golden thread and the power.
The power! The power!
But enough about that, let's talk about how Curtis and Dino are going to learn about the island sports. And about our sixth useless plot point. This dead guy in a tub. They put a lot of time with the importance of putting embalming powder in this tub for this guy. And yet, it doesn't go anywhere. Now is the time to play Guess That Question! After seeing a dead body in a tub, what question will Curtis ask? A. Why is there a dead body in a tub? B. Where can I have a phone or a radio? C. How's your sex life? D. What happened to your eye? You guessed it, it's D.
How'd you lose the eye?
How did I lose me eye?
Yeah, how'd you lose your eye?
How did I lose me eye? This is all they left of it, neighbor.
And that's what you get for asking a dumb question, you dumbass. So after a visit of Captain Jason to see how he's not doing so hot, the doc starts helping Mr. Van Helsing with his need to be revivified, since he is...
I'm almost 200 years old.
Dun dun dun! So since the beginning of the movie, they haven't established if Frankenstein is a fact or fiction in this world. And it's kind of driving me crazy because this is kind of really important to set the tone in the movie. And yet, they don't really talk about it and they never react in a way that you could guess what it is.
The guys decide to boss the girls around to make a raft for them while they inspect. Typical men from the 80s. Cough! Which has totally changed now. We then get the revelation that Frankenstein's monster is in the water grotto. And credit where credit is due, that is an interesting idea. Meanwhile, Curtis still thinks he's on vacation.
Boy, I wish I had some scuba gear.
All of this leads to a very strange scene, which, as best I can describe, is two zombie boys hypnotizing a third zombie boy into turning into a werewolf, while the ghost of Dr. Frankenstein seems to join it all a bit too much.
So, while random weird scenes are happening, the girls reveal that random babe number 5 is missing, but can't follow the tracks because it's no use. while Doc kills random babe number 5 because he was seduced by the dark side.
Wish we could have saved her.
Or was he drugged? I really don't know. They never talk about it in the movie, so I have no idea. So after 6 useless plots, we actually get one that actually goes somewhere at the end of the movie. So get ready for that mind-blowing plot twist. So after giving all the blood of the alien girl and a few animals, they start shocking him like if they were trying to start a car. Van Helsing then makes this weird face, before praising them that it works, and then saying it didn't.
Animal blood? Are you saying that you gave me animal blood?
Now they need to extract the blood and replace it with Captain Jace's now. Poor guy, he really can't catch a break.
The Scooby Gang sneaks around, and with a logically flawed explanation.
What she said? The only way to can handle these guys is with machine guns. Yeah, kind of right down the middle. Got a couple on you?
She wouldn't have mentioned it. There wasn't at least one of them around here somewhere. Now my guess is one in that house.
They find an old machine gun in a random closet.
And remember that plot point I said that went nowhere? Well, this is its payoff.
Dino's girlfriend gets kidnapped and brought to be drained of her blood. We then get the revelation that Captain Jason is her father, which doesn't make any sense, because the girls are all aliens, and Jason is human.
The gang then arrives to save the day with an old Civil War machine gun and are ready for the final showdown. Then comes my favorite scene in the movie, when Mark asks Dino to check the old guy out that has been in the same bed since the beginning of the movie, and Dino's like, yeah, okay, yep, that's an old man, alright, okay, let's go talk to Mark about it, yep, that's all good.
Be careful! Don't bump it!
Yeah, don't bump the super important brain that's in the middle of the room on a high stool, and that seems to be already melting. Did I mention that the brain is super important? As seen in the previous scene, we see Shia LaBeouf slips in the back to summon Frankenstein's monster and starts to really freak me out with her weird eye thing and creepy smile. After another weird scene, we finally see Frankenstein's monster. That kind of looks a little blind. Yeah. Meanwhile, Shia LaBeouf releases Doc of her mind control by turning a few dials and making him do weird faces. Because, science!
The monster stumbles around for approximately 5 hours, while Dr. Frankenstein laughs his ass off. He eventually makes it out of the cave and stumbles onto his first victim. Rest in peace, bad boy. You'll be laughing in heaven now. The monster and the zombie boys get in the lab for the final showdown, and our heroes are ready for them. However, the machine gun gets jammed because random babe number 8 is blocking the bullet feeding tray with her fingers. The fight begins. The bearded sailor seems to wake up from the noise. Dr. Van Helsing gets a hard-on. Some with a magic toy fork transforms a girl into a werewolf and then zaps her away with a ray gun. Weird Syringe Guy seemingly dies for his unmentioned fear of spiders and snakes. Meanwhile, during the chaos, the monster blindly kills and destroys all in its path. For a creature of science, he doesn't seem to like it very much. We then get the revelation that the brain powers the monsters on the island, and it is about to be destroyed. But it's okay, because I have a backup brain. Somewhere. For emergencies just like this. The brain then explodes, and the villains are real bummed about it. While this happens, Random Bay number 12 heard about the backup brain and telltales this information to our heroes.
Having only minutes to escape, they promise to go get help to save them and leaves on the raft off screen.
Come back for you! We'll come back for you!
They arrive on American soil, and even though they haven't had any change of clothes for a while and traveled on a raft to get there, they go directly to see their good friend, the General. Is this island like 5 minutes away or something? They convince him with the logs of the raft that the island is real. Because, well, we can't really get any logs anywhere else than Frankenstein Island, I guess. The movie ends with them arriving on the island with what they could afford to be an army and discover that everything is gone. The general says it's an hallucination and bans them and them on the island.
Away from it? Just walk away. It's clear you hallucinated the whole thing.
Hey, remember that plot point that actually leads to something? This is when Melvin arrives with the Babe Charm necklace, and they start smiling like dumbasses. The end. What a happy ending for our heroes that achieve literally nothing.
Well, that movie was actually kind of good.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's not like wow good, but it's kind of bad that I could watch and really laugh with some other people.
Yeah, I actually had fun watching it with you.
Yeah, we should do this more often.
Ah, shit. Not them again.
Enough of your worthless opinions. The scientists will be the judge of this movie. Now do your job and give us your best remake pitches.
Fine. So here's what I would do to make a good remake. This movie would be like in the 80s, like the original, and be directed by Quentin Tarantino, inspired by Planet Terror. You start off with a cruise ship that is going about their day, and then gets caught by a storm and crashes on this unexpected island. 1 year later, the authorities have given up the search, but that's not the case for 3 heroes. Doc is played by Robert Pattinson, who is looking for his husband. Curtis is played by John Leguizamo, who is looking for his parents, and Mark, played by Michael Madsen, is looking for his daughter. They find the island by mistake and encounter some of the surviving people of the cruise ship that became savage and traumatized by the experience. Mark's daughter is there, but Doc's husband and Curtis' parents were recently abducted by the crazy people from the mansion on the island. They decide to try to get the people off the island and get help, but the boat is gone. Savage people say it's probably the people at the mansion. Our heroes have no other choice but to break into the mansion at night to find either a phone, a radio, or the boat, or even the missing people. To cover more ground, the group separates and each finds something unique in the mansion. Mark finds some stairs that lead down to a water grotto, where he finds Frankenstein's monster sleeping in a healing tank. Doc encounters a guy that says he is possessed by the spirit of Dr. Frankenstein. Curtis finds Captain Jason in prison and frees him. This triggers an alarm that summons brain-dead bodyguards made from the parts of the dead people of the cruise ship. This is when Curtis discovers his parents are dead. They get pretty beat up and escape, all except for Doc, who stayed since the Frankenstein guy promised to show him how to bring back his dead husband in exchange for helping him transfer his spirit into the monster. At the Savage camp, they exchange information on what they found and realize that no one is safe if Dr. Frankenstein achieves his plan. Mark dies from his wounds that he got while escaping, so with the help of the Savage survivors, they attack the mansion. There's a crazy fight of savages versus the brain-dead bodyguards, while Curtis finds himself face to face with Doc, who was seduced into the dark side. They fight, and Doc gets killed, but in his dying breath, he succeeds in transferring Frankenstein to the monster. We then get a lot of gruesome deaths because the monster is overpowered, but they find a way to defeat it. Curtis and the few remaining survivors get on the boat and sail off to the end of the movie.
That's actually a pretty cool idea. I'm kind of nervous to tell you my idea now, but here goes. Okay, here's my pitch for the remake of this movie. First, the theme. The movie would be an early 2000 raunchy comedy. The cast would be as follows: Craig Robinson as Dino, Owen Wilson as Curtis, John Leguizamo as Mark, Seth Green as Doc. All of the Amazon girls would be played by Scarlett Johansson in various wigs. Danny Glover would play Jason. We would combine the roles of Eye Patch Guy and the other sailor guy, the one with the big beard, as one character named Jocko, and would be played by John C. Reilly. Mrs. Frankenstein would be played by Ellen Mirren. Dr. Van Helsing would be played by Christopher Lloyd, with Special guest Arnold Schwarzenegger as Frankenstein's monster. The movie opens as four friends get on a hot air balloon. Three of these friends sneak weed on board because they want to get high in the sky. Doc, the boring one in the group, finds out about this a little too late and protests. This leads to a fight, which then leads to the balloon crashing. They then all wake up on a mysterious beach and wander the island until they find a hammock girl and then the rest of the island girls. A few rapid changes to the original are as follows. The island girls are all lesbians. The "you are pretty" line is replaced with "you are all so ugly." And the hammock girl is revealed to just be a little quirky. The gang is then brought to the girls' camp, where they learn that the girls are growing giant weed plants and that they love smoking that dank kush. This leads to a fun night of partying. The guys wake up the following morning being dragged away by Jocko and some zombie boys. It is revealed that the girls are aliens and that Jocko and the zombie boys might have saved our heroes from being some new skullbunks. At the Frankenstein camp, our heroes meet Captain Jason, who in this version is just plain crazy. He also frequently talks to the skeleton in his cell. Afterwards, they meet Lady Frankenstein and her husband. They explain that they're trying to take back the island from the alien girls. The group then separates. Doc goes with the Frankenstein clan and the rest want to join the weed-smoking alien girls. As the two sides prepare for the final fight, Doc learns that there's a brain that powers the monsters on the island and that they're feeding it Jason's blood. Doc takes this rather well, but that's because he's been slowly drugged through the tea he's been drinking. We also get the revelation that the Frankenstein clan wants Doc to be Jason's replacement, and that human blood plus the drug that makes people crazy is the food for the monster powering brain. Doc then gets locked up, in a different cell than Jason of course. Not gonna make that mistake again. The rest of the guys, feeling like shit is about to hit the fan, start to build a raft. The final battle for the island begins. A lot of crazy stuff happens, and through it all, the guys find Doc, as the drug he's been getting wears off. Pissed off from being drugged without his consent, Doc leads the boys to the monster brain, and together they destroy it with weed. The boys then escape on the raft and wake up washed up on a beach in America. Was it all a dream? They wonder this until Dino finds the premium kush he brought back from the island.
Cataloging movie bitches. Thank you for your contribution. See you soon.
Wait, what? What are we gonna do until then?
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more experiments like this, please like, share, and subscribe. While you're at it, leave us a comment down below to tell the subjects what you thought.